So is it smooth or is it still making that sound?
It's okay.
It's okay. No form of vibration.
No, ma.
No, ma.
Praise the Lord. I think maybe it's me plugging it to electricity then. Okay, so how to spot a trend reversal. Now, let me ask everyone, when you say trend reversal, what do you think we're talking about? Any idea, anyone? Retracement. Okay, Madam Kemi, what do you think?
Like a pullback.
Okay, I think I'm glad I asked that question. Now, retracement and pullback are the same thing, hope you know.
Yes,
When you say you pull back in an uptrend or a downtrend, you know that it's just for a short time, is it not? Because the main move is going to continue. But when you're talking about reversal means complete change of the direction of the trend. Everybody write this down. Trend reversal means a complete change. A complete change. A complete change. A complete change of the overall direction of the market. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
A complete change. That is, if we're on an uptrend, the market makes a reversal, then most likely we're going to have a downtrend. Full stop. Are we still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so with regards to what I just said and what you said before, do you still think it's a retracement or pullback?
No, ma'am.
No.
Good. So what it means is the direction of the trend changes. If we're on an uptrend, we might likely have a downtrend. If we're on a downtrend, we might most likely have an uptrend. So this is one of the ways you want to start. And one of the things you want to do is you want to catch the trend early, is it not? Everybody likes to join the trend at the very beginning. That way it gives you more edge to make more money. Unlike somebody who joins at the probably in the middle of the trend, you're now waiting for an impulsive move or be able to follow the direction. So write this out. Factors or things to spot. Things to spot. Things to spot, like things that will indicate. That's like a subtopic, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Number one, market starts to range. Market starts to range. Okay, wait. Let's change that your subtopic so that we can handle it one by one. Like that things to spots, right? Things to spots for a possible uptrend reversal. For a possible uptrend reversal, that's like the subtopic. So this, what this means is we are trying to know when an uptrend wants to reverse. Like if we're uptrend before, what to know if the trend might likely be reversing. That's what that subtopic means. So number one, market starts to range. Are we there?
Yes, ma'am.
So number two. Okay, in front of that market starts to range. Let me just explain that. Write this down in your notes. Within the trend, this is more like an explanation of that first point you wrote. Within the trend, you begin to spot the market moving sideways. Moving sideways towards the trend line. Are we there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now write that this under that, still under this point. Notes. Notes. Until the candles close outside the trend, your trend is still valid. Full stop. Full stop. So are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now number 2. The market stops making higher highs. The market stopped making higher highs. The market stopped making higher highs. Are we there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, look, that's like
Yes, ma'am.
the number what point? Yes.
Number 2.
Number 2, okay, the market stopped making higher highs. Now, as Steve wants to explain that, right? That is the impulsive or buy move. The last impulsive or buy move. The last impulsive or buy move. The last impulsive or buy move is not higher than the previous buy move. Full stop. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I need to take a look at that. What the last thing you just wrote? Just reiterate if it makes sense at all before I call the next point. I'm trying to draw at the same time. So just take a glance at it like, okay, this thing she said, does it even make sense? Now, do you think you understand what that point is saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now, the third one, the candles of the impulsive move. The candles of the impulsive move. The candles of the impulsive move. Starts getting shorter or smaller. The candles of the impulsive move. In brackets, in front of that impulsive move, please put buy. You know, we are treating the case of an uptrend. So what it means is the buy candles will start getting shorter. Have you written that down?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. While the retracement, the candles of the retracement move. While the candles of the retracement move. In front of that retracement move, put sell candles. Candles of the retracement move. In this case, I'll put in front of you, put sell candles. Will start getting bigger. Full stop. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the fourth point, I didn't give the previous set this one. Notes. Watch out, pay attention. So when the candle breaks out of the trend, pay attention to when the candle breaks out of the trend.
When the candle
Breaks out of the trend, out of the trend line. Breaks out and closes outside of the trend line. Put it that way. Breaks out and closes outside of the trend line. Full stop.
Good.
Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then the last but not the least. Watch out. Watch out for the break of structure. Watch out for the break of structure around the supports. Around the supports. Around the supports. Around the support outside of the trend. Full stop. Let me know when we are here. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Great man, are you still there? Great man is no longer here. Okay. I want to show you something, ma. And I need you to stay with me at this point. Now, this trend I have on the left-hand side of the screen, do you think is an uptrend or a downtrend?
An uptrend.
Okay, good. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use a box to map out like each of the floors, the supports in the trend. Great man, are you back? Great man is going to come and ask me the same question. I don't want to repeat myself twice. No. Sorry, ma. Let me pause and just wait for
Okay, ma'am.
you. So one of the first things indication is you begin to see the market moving left. Note, it's not every time the range. That's why I told you in the point you wrote. A market will still be ranging inside a trend, right? If this market hits the trend line at this last range, if it hits the trend line and moves up and continues up, meaning it broke this resistance, it's no longer a reversal, even though it was ranging. Are we together? As long
Yes,
as
ma'am.
sometimes the market needs to range, keep moving sideways till it touches the lower trend line. And remember, the lower trend line is an area where the market pushes up, is it not? So in my range, just to hit the trend, to gather momentum so that I can push up. In that case, the trend is not reversing. But some situation where it start ranging, and instead of breaking up, like I just showed in this example, instead of having to break out of the resistance, instead, what do we see? That is something that looks out. We call it a break of structure. Instead, the market ranges to the side till, why am I still having an eraser? Sorry, just a moment. Breaks out, ranges till it closes outside the trend line. Now remember what I mean by outside the trend line. What it means is another range, right? And then this time around, the candle closes outside of this trend line. Are we seeing? So at this
Yes.
point, I will say this trend has broken. Please pay attention. When the candle closes is when the trend breaks. When the candle closes outside the trend. But does it mean that the trend has reversed? No. Because remember, for a reversal to happen, what did we say? If we're in an uptrend and it reverses, what it means is the market needs to start moving down. So it has only broken out. Remember when I taught you about ranging markets? I said you see a range. Two possible things can happen when you see a ranging market. One, it could indicate the beginning of another trend. Yes or no? Who remembers?
Yes, ma'am.
So the fact that you start seeing a range market could mean that, oh, this market wants to start exhausting, another trend wants to form. Or it could also mean that this particular trend is just resting. It's tired of pushing up. It's resting for some time. Remember, a range can break either up or down. I also said another situation where we see a range is that the market is just in a period of rest to continue the initial direction it was. Who remembers? So the fact that it closed outside of the trend does not mean, oh, we are now in it. No, this trend could just be ranging, right? Resting, and then it still breaks and closes back up. Something similar to what Grayman drew for me that I showed you just before the class.
Yes.
Good. So you remember it ranged and then broke out. But another indication that you will know that, okay, is this thing about to reverse? After this first one that I said, ranging market. Number two, what did we write in our notes? What's the second fact I gave in our notes?
The market stopped.
stopped making higher highs.
Thank you. The market stopped making higher highs. Now remember that higher high is simply referring to as the buy moves, right? From this point right now, this particular ground to this move was a buy move. That was an high, is it not? It pulled
Yes,
back.
ma'am.
Then it went for a second high. Notice the second high was higher than the last high. Yes or no?
Yes.
This point to this point, this buy move was higher than this. Good. The third time again, what happened? This buy move was higher than this. Trust me, you'll see these things on your chart. But what happened by the time we went for this buy move next? You can see this particular buy move was no longer higher than the previous one. At this point, I start paying attention. One, I see a range. Two, I now see that the buy move is getting shorter and shorter. You can see when the market hit this resistance, it came down again. It went for another buy move. What happened again? The next buy move in this range, was it higher than the lowest buy move before when it did an impulsive move? No.
No.
Right? So that is another signal. It's like a red flag. You know, when you're in a relationship and then you suddenly start noticing the person is smoking, red flag. You notice drinking, red flag. You notice what else you notice?
You watch football.
No, that
You
was
not.
not a red flag, Larry. I love football. What do you mean? Are you saying my husband is a red flag? You now notice one day that the person went for one night stand, another red flag. Then he gets to a point, he can ask you for money too much. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You know, no, I can no longer take this. Is it not? Now, the same way with the market, it starts giving you red flags just before it breaks out. One of the red flags is the last eye start getting lower. It's not getting higher.
Yes.
It starts ranging and it getting shorter. That way is another red flag. Then the third red flag is this. What did we write in our notes? The candles, good. Of the Bible, I said start getting shorter. Is it not? Now remember,
Yes.
if you notice all the buy moves on an uptrend, they're always longer than the sells because the sells
Yes.
are for a short time, just pull back. So, but suddenly, when the strength of a trend is diminishing, you start seeing these buy candles losing their power. Remember, okay, we've not gotten to candles. Sorry, that's the next topic after this. Candles tells you what is happening with the market. So when I suddenly see two candles, like wow, buyers are in full play, right? But all of a sudden, I now see my buy candles getting shorter. Remember, you can use any color for your candle. I love blue, that's why I'm calling it blue. But I know Grandma likes green. It's only Madam Pep that likes red. God will deliver you, ma. So let's say your blue candle, your red candle, your black candle, whatever color your buy candles is, the moment it start getting shorter than all the previous eye move before that, that's another indication. Like 3 factors. Remember at the beginning, I told you something on our first day. I said nothing in the forex market is guaranteed. Hope you know. But
Yes.
what you want is to increase the odd in your favor when 1, 2, 3 persons are saying the same thing. So number 1, I start seeing that the market start ranging. Number 2, the last eye move that diminishing is not as high as the previous move. That's another one. Then the candles of the buy moves start getting shorter. Now the 4th thing, also of course, at that point, when the buyers are losing strength, very likely the sellers also will be gaining momentum. You know, if you're in a fight,
Yes.
wrestling match, and you notice that your opponent is getting weaker and they are cheering you, it's almost over time, 5 minutes to the end of the match. What happened? You start, feeling like a G. Before you know it, you start applying pressure. So at that
Yes.
point, because the buyers are losing strength, if the sellers are very strong, they start applying pressure. And how do you know they're applying pressure? By the size of the candles of the sellers. Their own candles will start getting bigger. They are getting bolder. That is what it means. Now, the 4th thing is now want to pay attention. So when that range closes outside of the trend, are we together? Like in this case, the range, and this candle closed. This was the candle that broke this trend. So at this point, it broke. If it breaks, what I now want to see is after the breakup, I'm now going to watch. I said the last thing is, I said, watch out for the break of structure around the support. This is what I mean. Right after this break, where is the next support? This is it. This is a major support. If you look inside the trend, this was like the big support. You know, there's a small support of the range here, right?
Yes.
But this is not the one you're looking for. You want this particular big one, right? That did the last eye move before the market started exhausting. That's the one you're watching out for. You now want to see the market break it to the downside, because most likely the market will still be ranging even when it's outside the trend. I remember when the market is ranging, what did I say? I said it's either you wait for it to break to the top or break below. Who remembers for a range?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So if it comes outside the trend, it might still be ranging. In that case, you want it to clearly break the support. If it breaks the support to the downside, what it means is sellers are now in control. So that your uptrend has reversed. But what happens if you break to the upside? Who can tell me? What happens if you break to the upside of the range? Meaning it will be breaking this resistance. Are we together? Remember, the
Yes,
market is not outside of the range, but the last resistance, major resistance in that trend is still this. So if it now closes above to the top, what do you think happened in that scenario?
a
Let's say this market
continuation.
was a continuation, thank you, of the previous trend. What it means was that trend was just resting. But if I want the reversal, since we were in an uptrend, what I'll be watching out for is when the market breaks below. So when I give you an assignment and I expect you to analyze, if you see a trend that breaks, don't come and say, oh, it has broken, it has reversed. No, it has not reversed until it breaks this support. Are we together? It's when it breaks
Yes,
this
ma'am.
support, you can now trade the way we trade a ranging market. For the market to pull back the support and then you join the sell move. Did that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Okay,
Yes,
that's when we confirm that it has
Now,
established a
good.
downtrend.
Good. It has to break the support. So what
Okay.
has to break? It has to break. By break, what I mean is candle have to sell down to this zone,
Close.
close below it.
Okay.
Grayman, I sent you a chat today on gold that we drew a range on H4. You were the one that sent me, right?
Yeah,
That
yes, ma'am.
range is not close above. Even if you like, let it be buying inside the range or be selling inside the range until it breaks a clear way. That's when you now know the real direction. That's how we say ranging market, a market that just moving sideways. They are still moving. So the last point should be when the market writes it down. You know, we just said watch out for the break of structure.
Yes.
Let me now give you how to trade it. After the support is broken, you can wait for a retest and then join the sell move.
Okay.
So that's broken support and join the sell move. That's like the number 6 points. After the support is broken, comma, you can wait for a retest. You can wait for a retest and then join the sell move. For a retest and join the sell move. Full stop.
But I didn't get number 5.
Do you mean this last one I just called?
No, not this one. I think the previous one. I stopped before at
Pay attention to when the candles break out of the trend. Was that the one?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. And I said, watch out for the break of structure around the support outside of the trend.
Okay. Watch out.
This is what I mean. Watch out for the break of structure
Okay.
around the support outside of the trend. Full stop. What do I mean by all that graph? This is what I mean. The candle has closed outside of the trend, right? Now you are now going to have the support below and a resistance above. So because you're looking for a possible reversal, meaning we want to sell, you now wait for the market to break this support below. That's what I mean by break of structure. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I ask anybody now, how do you know when an uptrend is exhausting? You have the answer. Is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So the same thing applies to an uptrend, just like the reversal, right? Sorry, a downtrend when it's reversing, almost the same thing. So now let's write the conditions for how to spot a possible downtrend reversal. How to spot a possible downtrend reversal. Stop. I've written that.
Yes, ma'am.
So number one, what do you think the first point will be based on the one you wrote for the uptrend? What do you think the first point will be?
Market starts to range.
Market starts ranging.
Yeah, it's a more exactly. So write it down. Market starts to range. First up. So what do you think will be the next one?
Market stop lower lows.
God bless.
Lower lows.
I'm going to report to tell me that you are busting my brain, man. Write it down. Market stops making lower lows. Number 3.
The candles of the impulsive move, that is the sell start getting shorter.
Write it, man. Don't worry. I owe you something. Hey, great man, she's busy. Okay, so let's write that down. While the retracement candles, that is the buy candles, start getting bigger. I hope you remember that part soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, so please include it. I've written all of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the last one or the next one, pay attention to when the candle breaks out of the trend, out of the trend line. I wish I can move this old trend to the side. I'm going to redraw this. Let me know when I should proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay attention to when it breaks out of the trend and close outside of the trend line, right? That's the next thing. Okay. So what will be the next one?
Watch out for the break of structure around the retracement.
Around where?
The retracement. I mean, around the yes,
Resistance new.
resistance. Sorry.
You know that one. We were waiting for the break of support. So this case, we'll be waiting for the break of resistance outside of the trend line. Are we there?
Yeah.
Let me know if I should wait before we call the next one.
Done.
Done. So what's the last one?
After the resistance is broken, one can wait for a reset and join the buy move.
Ah, write it, man. Great man, hope you add.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So write that. Once we are done, let me know. I want to ask us all a question.
I'm done, ma'am.
Okay. Madam Kemi, what about you?
Almost, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, great. Now let me ask you, everyone, look at this downtrend I'm drawing. The one to your left, though, the one I just drew. Let me erase this other one. Oh, I should have left it there. The one to the left,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
put in a downtrend. Or has that trend broken?
It's not broken yet.
No.
It's not.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Because the range is still within the trend line.
Trend line.
Ah, okay. Your edge is not good. Now, look at this one to the left. Do you think this one has broken? To the right. Do you think this one has broken?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm Kevin. Do you think this one has broken?
I guess it has not gotten to the resistance.
Do you think the trend line has broken?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
You know why you're confused? Because the trend line was not there. So the down bar.
Yes.
Now, anytime you're checking your trend, I see people do this mistake. They are looking at, when you look at your chart at a glance, you can actually tell that the market is trending down or up, yes or no.
Yes.
But if you don't draw a trend line, a markout zone, you might not be able to tell whether that trend has broken or not. So it's always important. Don't just say, sometimes we'll get carried away when we are very good, we will say, oh, we are still in a downtrend. But if you now look closely, that's when you now notice that your downtrend has broken. So please don't be like some people that would just look at the trend without analyzing or charting it out. That's like one of the things I taught you first of all was mark your charts, then connect the buy and the sell areas. At least when you have 1 or 2 points, we call it swing points. Now notice something about this trend. The previous support area where the market buy from is also the same zone where you have your resistance. Don't mind the one I drew on this screen. That one is not looking like it. We call it swing points. You can see this same place where the market bought and went up from. This zone to the left was also the same place that became a resistance. Yes or no? Yes or no? So in trading, we call it swing points. Greyman, are you still here?
Yes, ma'am.
So we call it swing points because some experts, as you get better, when you're in GS1, we'll be using GS1 language. When you're getting to SS3, let's call it spade is spade. So if I ever give you as a man, I say swing points, just go and look to your left. Was that place a previous support that became resistance? That's a swing point. Now, what expert traders do is in an uptrend, in an uptrend, or no, let's use this downtrend on a downtrend. In a downtrend, anywhere you want to sell that we call resistance, let it be a swing point, meaning that same zone. Can you look to the left in the past and saw that that same zone was a buy zone? Trust me, you're going to be much more secure that way. How do I look at, I want to sell here, right? I want to sell around the trend line. And because it's also a resistance, 2 factors. I now look to my left in the past on my chart. Was that place a previous buy zone? If I can see that buys went out of there, guys, there's every probability that yes, I'm selling in the right zone. Are we together? I'm giving you another trick. Sometimes you miss out on resistance zones. You not see the resistance. You'll be saying, oh, the previous support zone, the previous floor is where I want to be selling in a downtrend. Meaning the previous swing point. Meaning if I'm selling here around this resistance, I say the resistance. I want to go and look in the past. Was it a floor? Remember, floor means support. Did the buy? So how will I know? The simple trick is just look for where buy candles started from. You see a buy move, maybe you see like 3 buy candles. Look at where the first candle came out from. That's another trick. So if I'm going to sell again, I can sell around here. Why? Here was a previous buy zone. Me, I easily spot out my zones. Most people, they don't see zones. Me, I just go to the left, look for where buyers have bought before. And I drag my line across. Once I can see more than once, twice, I'm very sure it's going to be a zone. Did you learn something today?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. The fact that this candle, remember, the fact that if this candle breaks or closes outside the trend does not indicate now that we are on an uptrend. I hope you remember that part.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm always having, it's always taking them a while for them to know that, they'll just say, the candle has closed, it has broke. We're now on an uptrend. Except when you see something like this, some of them break without a range. From the trend, it starts moving up as if it's already forming an uptrend. But in that case, even if it's forming like an uptrend, the market is gradually moving up. It still needs to break the next resistance on top of it too. If it does not break the resistance, it's a lie. It's just still deceiving you. Are we together? In this case, the resistance will probably be around here. Why is the resistance here? Because this was the last floor. Can you see? There's a buy. So that is where I wanted to break. So sometimes it forms as if it's moving in an uptrend. This is looking as if it's going up. Sorry, don't mind my drawing. It's gradually looking as if it's going up, which was what gold did for us today. Remember, you marked out the range, is it not? We marked out the range.
Ma'am.
Gold now did as if he wanted to break. So the moment it closed outside the trend, what I always draw instantly, I look for the support and the resistance. So this one is the support, this is resistance. If it breaks above and closes above, then this market has reversed and is moving to the upside. But if it does not close, note how I pay attention to the candle close, because you see, remember if you're on a 1 hour, What it means is every candle forms every 1 hour. True or false?
True, ma.
Yes.
So what it means is the candle that open at 4 o'clock, it can still be going above this zone and be giving it has break, it has break. It's a lie. Until 5 o'clock, I want to come and see, is this candle still above this line? If it now close above the line or the zone, I can say yes, it has broken. Because you see, if you can see the candle at 4:15 is above, but before 5 o'clock, it will just come down, and do a reversal. It will now close inside the zone back. If it closes inside the zone, we are not in an uptrend yet. The market is still within a range. We want it to either break down or break up.
Break up.
Exactly. In fact, my people say Ogbewalandi cap. That was what gold did today. He gave a false, we call that kind of thing false breakout. It's to do as if it's breaking until the candle close. Even if you are watching 4 hours, that 4-hour candle has to close above the zone for you to say, oh, we are now in an uptrend. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
question.
Okay, please ask. I think we have less than 20 minutes.
Okay.
Ask.
The trend on the right,
Okay.
there is a range on the lower part. And then from what you explained here, ma, you said the previous support, which has now been broken, which has turned to a resistance, obviously.
Sorry. Can you start again, please?
Okay. From the trend on the right side of the screen.
Okay, this one.
Yes, ma'am. On the lower side, the market was ranging. Before
Yeah.
it broke out from the previous support, which was broken, and it's obviously now a resistance. So
Okay.
There was a time you mentioned that it's not valid yet. Okay, probably you were not explaining that it has closed yet above it. If it closes above that candle, that's support that is now a resistance, we can get into the market, right?
Yes, you get in. Now wait. For the getting in, some people follow the buy immediately. Maybe immediately, I mean, once the candle closed, they get in.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Those people are aggressive. But you see me, I like to reduce what I risk. Imagine this market close here and you get in on the next candle, right? Meaning you'll probably enter above it. And of course, what will make this buy invalid is if the market comes back and close inside this range. Hope you know that.
Yes.
The stop
Yes.
loss will be below the range. So imagine if I enter here, from here to here, my stop loss is higher. This is what I would do. I'll wait for the market to retest. Retest means it comes to pull back. So this same zone, as when it comes back to the same zone, as long as the candle that came to retest does not close back inside the zone, if it closes up the zone, I will enter still at this support because this resistance is now a support. Hope you know from the moment I break. So I like to buy at the resistance, not in the middle. And at this point, my stop loss will still be below. You know, me that entered from here, I'm risking little compared to the guy that entered from here. Hope you know that. Because this guy jumping here and things the market will be going up. What if the market still wants to pull back? Other time the market is pulling back, it's already in loss. And it will now be scared of his decision. But me, I want to enter here so that even if it's reversing, because sometimes they give you false breakouts in this market very well. They know that everybody is waiting for breakout. So it will do as if it broke out. And when you now sell to pull back here, you now see the sellers. You know, this thing is like a game of buyers and sellers. Buyers scored 1-0. Sellers too are trying to regain their home territory back. So if the selling pressure comes down here and closes inside the zone, it's like saying sellers too, they've scored back. So they've reclaimed their own. But if they come back and push them, but buyers are still strong, and then the sell candles diminish. When we get to the candlesticks, I'll tell you the kind of candles you'll be trading. When it comes to that zone, there are some candles that you will see there, you will know that, okay, yes, the buyers are confirmed. You will join the buy. Do you understand? So that's the way you trade it. Any question?
Yes, ma'am.
You still have question?
Yes.
Hurry up, I want to shut down my laptop for 5 o'clock.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So from what you explained from the trend on the left now, that place, that resistance where it has now broken and closed above. After closing above it, the next candle, what you meant is that The next candle might start going up. Before you know it, it pulls back down
Pull back,
and closes
yes.
below that same resistance again.
If it closes below the resistance again, meaning it closes inside the back,
yes,
that buy is no longer valid.
Okay.
But in reality, you have put your stop loss into that, your stop loss.
Yes.
Let me tell you what happened. When this kind of move happens, maybe you were buying everything, you've confirmed, you did your own diligence. It now closes back. The sell move is always greater, like mad. Go and look at gold. What happened on gold today? It gave an impression like it was closing above. But me, I was still watching for H4. 1 hour can deceive you. That's why I always make everybody trade on 4 hours. 1 hour candle closed above that zone as if it was closing. It's a lie. It's deception. The H4, by the time the H4 came, what happened? The candle closed back inside the range, invalidating the buy. Now, if you see the kind of sell that happened after, it was massive sell. Do you understand? Anytime it deceives people like that, we call it false breakout. The opposite thing that it's just doing is going to move in massive momentum. Do you know why it's going to move that way? Because for the sellers to be able to push down, it's not like they broke the fence back. They reclaimed their territory. So they are going to add more strength. So that's what happens. Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
I think this is the class I treated this topic very extensively than the other sessions I've had with people. So
thank you very much, ma'am.
Do you understand now how to spot the bottom? So when you go on your chart and you are looking at the trend and you notice that it's no longer getting higher, the candles are getting shorter, it's starting to range. You now want to pay attention to see when it's going to break out so you don't miss on the breakout. All right, in the absence of no question, this is the assignment.
Okay.
So GBP USD, Euro USD, write it down. GBP USD, Euro USD. Go and look for a scenario where the trend broke out, right?
Okay.
And then look for all these conditions I mentioned. So when you see it, you circle it. You will circle when that trend reversal happened to me. You like circle 1. At this point, it was ranging. 2. At this point, the buy candle started getting shorter. At this point, do you understand? Each place you circle, put right a word with. I'm not going to give you GBP and which one did I say you should go for?
GBP Euro.
Euro.
Your GBP and Euro USD. Should I add good to it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ojo, because you've seen good. XAU. Now, another thing, if you want to see the trend breakout, if you are waiting on daily, you'll miss out, right? You might want to start checking from the H4. Do you understand? But remember, H4 is still inside daily. Until daily breaks, that your H4, it could still be arranging or a pullback inside the day. So, but I'm just saying to be able to see these assignments, go and check H4. And if you see it on daily, better still. Better. In fact, if you check for that very well, there was a point, NZD USD. And I think Euro gave us an impression as if he wants to break the upside, like this kind of scenario. Where I said it will break out, then the candle comes back and closes inside the ring. NZD USD did something like this. If you go and check daily, I think you will see it. And after that, you'll see how we sold massively to the downside. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end of today's class.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Some value on the chat box. I'm going to be missing you people. See you till next week. God, I can't wait to rest this weekend.
If you miss us, we can continue tomorrow.
No, we're not continue tomorrow. I have to tomorrow. You can't kill me. I won't miss you. That one is guaranteed. But of course, now let me say this, please. One thing you want to do is to keep practicing. That's one of the ways to get better. The more you practice drawing your trend lines, the more you start to see clearly, right? The more you get better. So please, whether I give you an assignment or not, one of the things I love about Temi is I say everybody drop fire. It's only green man. Madam Kemi, you don't like me, not drop fire.
No.
So one of the things, good. One of the things you want to do, practice more. Practice. Practice. Come and ask questions from your practice, because the more you practice, you discover one or new thing. Probably the teacher omitted. You can now ask.
Yeah.
Right? That's how you're gonna get better. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's the way Madam Kemi still did not drop value, but it's okay.
I've dropped mine.